There are three types of machine learning basically. The first one is supervised machine learning, the second one is unsupervised learning, and third one is reinforcement learning. Supervised learning is data and output is clearly defined. So data with clearly defined output is given. It's a direct feedback sort of thing. So supervised learning is nothing but you will be given with a data and its corresponding output, a data and its corresponding output, and so on. So once if you are supplying an output along with your data, that is also called, here the output is also called a label. So in case of supervised learning, labeled data is supplied. Usually solves problems like classification and regression. Supervised learning is normally used for solving classification and regression sort of problems. So it will be like this: input, then training phase, and output. So input is nothing but data comma output, or data comma label. So in order to remove the confusion, we can say data and label. Data and corresponding label is supplied as input, and you will be given with a model. So examples are classification and regression. Unsupervised machine learning is machine understands the data in terms of patterns and structures. Here, along with the data, you will not be supplying any label. So, what the data will do is, oh, sorry, what the machine will do is, the machine will its own try to identify patterns in the data. So, using that patterns or clusters in the data, it will identify, and its own does the its own do the clustering sort of examples, or it works on problems like clustering. Does not predict or find anything specific. Instead of that, it will try to say this belongs to this cluster and this belongs to the second cluster, and so on. That sort of problems can be solved by using unsupervised learning. Whereas in in classification and regression problem, it will predict the value, predict whether it belongs to this class or the other class. What is the percentage that this belongs to the first class, the second class, third class, etc. Whereas in regression problem, it predicts a value. The third approach is reinforcement learning. It's an approach to artificial intelligence. It's also called a reward based learning. It is using a live feedback sort of thing. So you will be having an environment and an agent, and the agent will do an action. Based on that action, you will supply a positive or negative reward. If it is a positive reward, machine learns that this is the correct move I have made. If it is a negative reward, the machine learns that this is a incorrect move I have made. So based on that, the machine learns, or machine tries to create a model. That sort of machine learning approach is called reinforcement learning. The machine, what it does is, machine will try to maximize its reward. That's how the machine works. So input is supplied, the machine will do an action. Based on that, you will supply a reward. So it's live feedback sort of thing. These are examples of supervised machine learning algorithms: classification and regression. You have, for example, in a classification problem, let's say this data belongs to two classes. The first class is, let's say, example is like whether there is a chance to rain or no rain. That is the data. Here in the left hand side, you have all humidity uh, values. Here in the right, in the x-axis, you have all temperature values. So temperature against humidity, and green dots represents rain, and blue dots represents no rain. Let's say. So this is the data, and based on this data, you can perform a classification sort of thing. This and this is the value of humidity and temperature. There is a chance that it will rain. This and this is the temperature and humidity, then there is no chance that it will. Or by using this model, by using this data, Data is like this: temperature value, humidity value, rain or no rain, temperature value, humidity value, rain or no rain, etc. By using this data, the machine learns, or machine tries to build a model, and the model built is this. This is the model. So whatever is below that is some one class. The above that is the second class. So that's how classification example works. Let's say this is the second type of supervised machine learning, regression sort of problem. So in a classification problem, the machine will output what is the, for a new data point. For example, let's say we have a new data point here. Then applying this curve, then you can say that the machine identifies that it is below this, so machine will predict that there is no chance for rain. On above this there is a chance for rain, below that there is no chance for rain. So that's sort of a classification. There is whether the data point belongs to class 1 or class 2, that is classification problem. Regression problem are, in regression problems, instead of like classification problem, you will be giving output discrete values. Here you will be outputting continuous values. This is an example of a linear regression. Let's say in the x-axis you have height of people, and uh, on the right, and on the y-axis, or on the y-axis you have weight of people. Okay, so height versus weight, that is the graph. This, for this height this is the weight, for this height this is the weight. That sort of data is collected. Now you construct a line by approximating the data points. So this process is called linear regression. Now if you construct a line like this, so after constructing such a line, you can say for a new data point somewhere here, you can project this point to this line, and you can always find what is the corresponding weight. That sort of problem is called regression problem, where you will actually predict a value. Instead of a class, you will actually predict a value. That sort of a problem is called regression problem. So these are two examples of supervised machine learning algorithms: classification and regression problem. We'll be discussing more about regression and classification in detail. This is an example of unsupervised machine learning. Let's say in x-axis you have some index, and in y-axis you have some other index. So now you got this data. With this data, there are no labels. In the previous case, there was labels. Here, there is no label, or there is no output. Now you would like to construct, let's say here we have a supplied k is equal to 3. This is an example algorithm, k-means algorithm. So if k is equal to 3, it will split this data into three groups. That's what it is done here. So after supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning, what it will get as an output is a set of clusters. This is an example of k-means clustering. So it will construct a cluster like this, a second cluster and a third cluster. Now if a new data point comes, you can always say by using these clusters what is the most probable cluster for that new data point. So that's what in the case of an unsupervised machine learning, or k-means clustering. Reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is a situation, or is a different scenario compared to supervised or unsupervised machine learning. It's almost a trend towards artificial intelligence. In this case, you have an environment, and in this environment, you have an agent, and the agent is at a particular state now. Now the agent does an action, the environment gives a reward. Agent does an action, based on that the environment gives a reward. The reward can be positive or negative. Based on the positive reward, the agent understands that the move is correct, or if it gets a negative reward, the agent understands that the move is wrong, and so on. So the agent will try to increase the number of rewards it is getting, or maximize the rewards, so that it will correct its actions. So agent is at a state and it does an action. For example, uh, a chess playing system or a computer. In this case, let's say these are the two possible options, or in a particular situation, these were the three possible options. And if it does this option, and what is the next option? What is the next option? And this sort of step by step, it, process it is calculated. So this is the first move, then second move, based on that, if the white player moves another move, and if it can be this move. So and these are the possible. So by using that tree structure, you can learn that this initial move was correct. So this sort of reward, or this sort of game playing machine can be thought of a reinforcement learning machine. So if this was the move, then if the white moves this move, if the next move was this, and so on. So from here itself, it can calculate these many moves, and based on that, it can understand that this is going to get a positive reward or a negative reward. So if it is getting a positive reward, then it can compare it with the other rewards for the other moves, and based on that, it can have a it can go for a move. So reinforcement learning basically works in an environment. Here the environment is a chessboard, and the action is agent is this machine, and action is moving from one state to another, from here to here, here to here, and this is a movement. And the reward here is that whether, based on this action, whether there is a chance for win or not. Chance for win, or chance for losing this coin is also chance for getting losing a coin will be negative reward. Chance for win is a positive reward, and so on. So that is reinforcement learning. Once again, reinforcement in reinforcement learning, we have an environment and an agent. Environment in a state at agent is at a state in a particular environment. Now the agent performs an action. Environment gives a reward, positive or negative. Agent will try to maximize the set of rewards it is acquiring. That's how the reinforcement learning works. So that was a small introduction towards machine learning algorithms. We have seen supervised machine learning algorithms, unsupervised machine learning algorithms, and reinforcement learning. Now let's briefly look at deep learning. Before getting into deep learning, let's say how our brain has got an average count is 100 billion neurons. You can see that a neuron is having three entities. A neuron has dendrites, then a nucleus, and an axon. Dendrites are for collecting information, and nucleus is for processing the information, and axons are for communication links. And this like this large number of neurons will be there, 100 billion plus. That is an average count in a human brain. The same sort of an architecture is used in the case of an artificial neuron, which is also called a perceptron. An artificial neuron has these values x1, x2, x3, etc., xn, w1, w2, w3, etc., wn, and it has a linear summation, then an activation function, and then it will produce an output. Let's take the example where we have seen in the case of machine learning a cat example. These are the features. X1 is the color, X2 is the size, X3 is the number of legs, and so on. Weights are assigned in random initially. Weight 1, weight 2, weight 3, etc. In random will assign. Then you can form a linear equation as w1 x1 plus w2 x2 plus etc., and we assign a bias also, but bias is usually written as w0 x0. Then a linear equation is this linear equation is passed to an activation function, then you will get an output, and you can compare that output with the label, whether you are getting it as correctly as a cat or not. If you are not getting correctly as that value, then you can adjust the weights. You go on adjusting the weights, and based on that, so at some point you will get uh, uh, w1 w2 etc., that weights correct. That situation is called, and that is your perceptron. So a collection of this sort of a perceptron is an artificial called an artificial neuron. So a collection of this sort of a neuron will be used in case of deep learning or artificial neural networks, etc. Here you can see that x1 x2 x3 etc. are we have been collecting features, and this feature extraction process is called a manual feature extraction. This is possible if you have very less number of features and less number of input data. But what about if you have large number of data? This is called manual feature extraction, and we call it forward propagation algorithm, etc. What about if you have a very large number of objects or complex images? You would like to identify many objects from a complex image. Then manual feature extraction will not be possible at all. At that point of time, we go for automatic feature extraction, and that is the base of deep learning. Automatic feature extraction means we'll keep large number of perceptrons or large number of artificial neurons layer by layer, and we'll try to identify small steps. For example, the given an image, from an image of a person, the eye will be taken into a small entity, and in that eye a circle will be taken into another entity, and in that itself a curve is taken to another entity. So the lowermost layer will be identifying only the smallest part in that image. Then that will be passed to the next layer, and so it's a layer by layer approach to machine learning with automatic feature extraction. Usually large amount of data is required for deep learning methods. You can see that there are different tools like TensorFlow and Keras for machine learning methods, machine learning approach. Let's see a simple example, fraud transaction alert from a bank. Let's say you have got a message from your credit card bank that uh, you have just now you have done a transaction with so and so amount from so and so country and so code and all. So, and the bank calls you and ask, we doubt that this is a fraud transaction, whether you have done it or not. How a bank identifies that this can be a fraud transaction? This is understood from your previous banking history, right? So the bank is having a large number of data with different credit card details and their customers details, etc., and all their previous transaction details also will be available with them. With that, they have understood that this particular person has never done a transaction for this large amount. So that amount will be criteria, like the amount will be understood by the machine as a feature. And for example, if the transaction was done from another country, and the machine has understood that you have never gone out of your country, then uh, then for example the machine can say that country is another feature and so on. So machine understood, machine think that you just now have done a transaction which is from another country and for a large amount. Then the machine understood that machine thinks that it's a fraud transaction, and that's why the machine alerted you with a fraud with this message. So that's about an example to deep learning. So let's conclude the session. Uh, we have seen different machine learning methods like deep learning, supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. And we have seen an introduction to artificial intelligence. On that. The next lecture will look more into machine learning or algorithms and machine learning methods. Thank you.